Alright, we're gonna get started a little early. Awesome possum. Alright. Cool, that's all set. I might be solo today because Dream is MIA. Or he's just still running late. It is still only 3:07, but FNF has started getting started a little earlier than usual. Usually they get started by 3:30, but this time around, I mean, yesterday they got started super early. Probably about around like 3:15. So it's about 3:07 right now, and I'm just gonna get started here. We'll see if Dream shows up. If not, that's okay. I'm sure he's got, IRL stuff to deal with. Otherwise, I'll wait till I push the map, and then we'll put the first betting round in as everyone's coming in, because sometimes when I put it and then people arrive on the stream, it doesn't show for them, because, Twitch API glitching out. Who would have thought? Otherwise, hope you're all doing A-okay. Today, we're just going to have 2 casual streams, probably this and then some Daisy in the evening. I do have to do some finishing touches on a mission file for tomorrow. That is going to be the Dreadspire. I had a little miscommunication with my map dev about that, but that all got sorted. Valk added some vehicle routes, and I couldn't find them for the life of me, so I finally sent her a video of like, hey, where are these things? And then she's like, no, they're here. And I'm like, oh, right, oops, didn't check that. But yeah, garrisons are ready to go. I'm probably going to put some units in those areas there, and then we'll have that nice, probably 90-minute mission tops for that Dreadspire. So we'll see how things go with that mission. We also have a Congo mission tomorrow, open world, black market style. And then there is not going to be any still water, so I'm probably not going to do anything in the evening. I'm thinking about maybe doing some dev work, but I'm going to be honest, I might do it tonight instead. I want to make another automated Vietnam file and show you guys how I do those things, a little bit of unit capture, and get that sorted. Maybe a second mission as well, just to, get things planned out, because why not? I have a way to potentially make some tree snipers, but also make them dynamic in the spawns by setting them as percentages for appearance, so that should be interesting, but yeah, no, beyond that, I've got like 2 missions up my sleeve to prep for that, because the last one we played was really, really fun, but goddamn was it interesting to watch most of my guys get wiped on that. And then there's another file I have to develop for C that's regarding some PvP elements, so I need to get that looked at this weekend, do some map work, get back to him about, what I might want to put there. But, yep, plenty to do. And then after Monday finishes up with Auntie Stasi this week, hopefully, then we'll have 2 other files to work on. One of them is already done, that's by Charlotte, and then the other one I have is nearly done. I just haven't finished it yet. Only 39 in FNF? Yeah. Let me check the top. We have 54 people on TeamSpeak, but it looks like a group of them haven't even parsed in yet. So there's 45 in their channel, but yeah. I think FNF is either going to move to Arma 4 when it comes out, or maybe move to Reforger at this rate, because it's just slowing down. But, I mean, there, jumped up to 46. Still a few people are coming in, so we're just waiting and seeing. Yeah, usually it's 60s. I think it's going to get up to that again if we're a little patient. There's just still one group that hasn't moved down yet, but yeah. There was the potential to go cover some Russian stuff, but they never got back to me. That was after that, like, 220-player PvP stuff. That was technically, like, 400 people across 2 servers. I just never heard back, so we'll probably wait for the next major event, and then I'll bring it up again, but that's fine. I'm going to be honest, this stuff is very niche, but it's also quite fun. Alright, I'm trying to think. Sunday, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't think I have anything scheduled, because usually that's my off day. Like, how would I say that? It's not my off day, it's usually my catch-up day for both work and other things. And then Tuesday is my, like, actual off day, but I usually also use that as a catch-up day, so. Fair enough. And I still don't know where Dream went, but that's okay. Otherwise, how are you guys doing on this fine Friday afternoon for me? Might be different for you. Which you guys tell me about it. Because otherwise, we are just here waiting for these guys to finish slotting, and hopefully they'll get started in the next 3 minutes. We'll put the bet up, and we'll see what they've got here. OFCRA, though, yesterday was insane. Not gonna lie, that was down to the wire. That was one of the few rounds I've covered in the last, like, I want to say 2 or 3 months where we actually had to stay close to the end. Literally to the last 10 players out of 168 just to see which way the wind would blow. Because, damn, that was nuts. No, Dragon, you don't. So if you haven't updated yet, cool, but try to, if your name has a red box by it, try to give me an updated kit so I can restart that. Because that's the purge counter. The goblins got Dream, yeah, something did, right? You became a rich man off of that OFCRA match, fair. Fair enough. Hate losing points on games like last night. I'm going to be honest, that was insane. Just a massive amount of back and forth. But as soon as Sonic took out that helicopter and we looked around and we saw there was like no other vehicles to get out of there, it was GG. It was just a wait and see if the other chopper pilots for Blue Force screwed up, but Oddball never did. In fact, he blew up some of the vehicles, but I don't think that would have even mattered because that other Op4 group was already leaving to walk out. So it's like, damn, that's crazy. No, if anything, like, you gotta remember, FNF used to be capped at 124 players, and for months upon months, they would smash that. It's just a lot of communities left because of drama and a lot of other crazy things that happened that I don't want to fully discuss, but it was a lot of fighting between groups, between admins, like their visions on everything and disagreements, and now we're just kind of in the aftermath of that. You know what I mean? And now they're just trying to rebuild themselves. I'm going to be honest, Arma 3 is a very old game. Hell, I've come to realize that if I sort my footage as Arma 3 when I upload it on YouTube, it gets less views than if I let it auto-sort it to another game. So I know it's, like, dead, you know? So the only thing that's going to fix things is Arma 4 coming out to revive the algorithm and then capitalize on that and then move forward. But eventually then, you know, after 5-10 years, that's going to fade away into nothingness too. So might as well enjoy the ride, right? That's why I'm happy and still working with all this stuff. It's fun. What was that Op4 group plan anyway? If you're talking about yesterday for OFCRA, it was literally to prevent Blue Fur from scoring with all the VIPs by stealing them all and then bringing them back. But all of their exit strategies got screwed up. And I think it was mainly because, I think it was Defso commanding Op4 yesterday. He wanted to use his helicopters to basically fly the VIPs back. But one helicopter landed in a dumb spot and got mowed down, which they knew there was Blue for, because it landed on the southeastern corner of the runway on those hills. But they knew that Blue 4 were camping out all of the western hilltops, which gave them clear lines of fire on that LZ. So that was a pilot error. Because the pilots had been flying around and they should have known where Blue 4 was engaging from after 30 minutes of sorties over that area to identify who was where. And then the second pilot was doing fine. It's just he was doing one of his low flies, and that one player, Sonic, just sniped him out of the sky with an AT launcher. So Depso and the whole of Op4 lost because they lost their main exit strategy, which also was going to maneuver them to the final objective. Because even if they weren't able to cash the VIPs in, they could have at least had a squad pull back and defend. And then a counter argument I've heard from a few people that debate this with me is, well, why didn't they just leave a squad at the final objective? One, that's boring as hell. I'm not going to sit around and do nothing for 90 minutes. I don't think anyone is. That's stupid. And two, the firefighting in that AO was so damn close. Op4 barely had like a number advantage before there was like that final bit of cleanup before Blue Force started moving a few people via that helicopter. It was like 8 to 12. So one could argue if Op4 didn't bring those extra, 8 or 10 guys, then there would have been a Blue 4 number advantage, and Op4 wouldn't have been able to keep the VIPs out of that capture zone anyway. So Op4 lost because of a pilot skill issue. Possibly due to a breakdown in communication, but at the same time, the pilot should have known better. Not necessarily the second one, he got sniped out of the sky. That's just, okay, bad luck. But the first one landing there, that was a skill issue. Bad LZ. They could have literally landed closer to, like, the eastern side, away from those western hills, and done whatever they needed to and been fine. But no, they instead landed literally right next to Blue 4, and they got punished for it. That one was a skill issue. Like, I'm sorry to hurt anyone's feelings, but skill issue. All right, let's go ahead and hit the prediction up. Who will win this FNF match? Green 4 is going to be defending. And Op 4 is going to be attacking. But it's kind of crazy to see that while it is rare, like, that is one of those moments where one player actually will change the game. And that was a combination of Sonic shooting down that other helicopter and then the pilot of the first helicopter landing in a bad LZ. Op4 just lost both their chances, and that was GG, But I agree, like, from an entertainment perspective and from a witnessing of tactics perspective, that was probably the most entertaining OFCRA match I've seen. At least the one that, goes to, like, the very end, You're down to literally single digits on both teams when you started with 168 people on the server. The other one that was really good tactics I saw recently was... Actually, a lot of them have been really good tactically. I think my favorite one was the Warhammer one between Tau and Cadians, where the Tau just absolutely went, like, crazy with the drones. It was more of a distraction, and then that Hammerhead just absolutely annihilated the Cadian QRF convoy and just tanked Lehman Rustfire. And I know some people were salty because of that, because they should have had that Hammerhead dead to rights, but good old Hammerhead just kind of laughed in their face and murked them all. But yeah, no, there were definitely some salty people at the end of that 40k one because they're like, that should have killed you, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, but it's a Hammerhead, broski. With a giant ion cannon that's going to murk anything it sees. Like, I'm not really surprised there, but not a lot of people know about the cannon, so... C'est la vie. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and cover this first round here. So, for round one, let's look at our mission details. Looks like I'm solo casting. That's always been glitched out. Alright, Green 4 is going to be defending a cache, defending a sector, and defending a terminal site. Brief for this mission is it is a kilometer of render distance. Fortify points are 125. Fortify colors green, and it's your standard 65-minute round and 15 minutes to safe start and the 50-minute round. From ChatGPT here, January 2036. 3 months ago, troops from the NATO-backed Free Chechen Army launched an incursion into their former homeland, which has been controlled by the Russian Union since the start of the conflict known as the Inevitable War. A platoon of FCA Green 4 is dug in on the front line, awaiting support from Austrian and German reinforcements to the south. Aware that the enemy is temporarily cut off, the Kremlin has ordered a nearby Russian Union infantry... to surround the town of Novorossiysk, where the Chechens are different, are holed up, destroy any supplies and communication equipment, and seize their command center, and eliminate the entire garrison. Otherwise, no parameter tweaks. That's okay. We don't have to worry about that. We'll start with Green 4 because we're over here. Balkan League forces from 2010 kits. We've got AKs with some side railing. We've got some GP25s as well. SVDs, RPKs, AT4s, and PKPs. Up 4, meanwhile, Ratnik Russian kits. We got AK-74s with GP25s, SVDs, PKPs, RPG-7s, and RPKs as well. Looking at our players here, we have Nemesis leading Green 4, Cats leading Alpha with Nafs, Cullis, Iander, Yanni, Malin, Steve, and Nakamata. Bravo being led by Fonz with Snodgeper, Pingus, and Salt with Skipu. And Charlie Charlie has Patriot leading Batty, Buckets, Fancy, Orthy, Korvac, Sandman, and Green Thumb. Op 4, meanwhile, be led by Eric with Swola leading Alpha with Tackleberry, Banks, Harna, Dogs, and Ash. Bates leading Bravo with Emil, Franz Harrington, and Marstek. NASA leading Charlie with Kremitz, Kerrigan, Depso, Risbo, Fetty, Lolo, and Cheeseburger. Tomer leading Delta with Ellie and Tom. Kevin leading Echo with Colin and Balloon Knot. And Cuboid and Parthius being a two-man team in Foxtrot. Otherwise, I think Op4 have a variety of different AOs they can start from to then push in. One of them gives them a nice riverbed to move up to the town itself. That is an easy point to be ambushed, but at the same time, that does give them low cover to move all the way up to the objectives itself. Meanwhile, the northern side, we have a bridge to work with, and then quite a bit of forested areas that let Op4 push in, and then to the south, little less on the forest, but there's also a second smaller riverbed that can get them up to the objectives before they make it to the bigger one, and they can stage from there. So I'm not gonna lie, a lot of great areas for Op4 to come in on. If we were at like the 124 and this was 60v60, those riverbeds would easily have like a squad come out to cover them. I mean, one squad could come out right here, one half guarding up that one, the other half guarding up that one, the rest would form a nice defensive line. Some even sent out on the force, but since we're only like, God, let me tab out and check on the T4 channel. 53 players, so it's a little above 25v25. That's not a lot of people to work with, so Green 4 really have to pick and choose what areas they're going to be defending, but at the same time, they can't cover every route in, so that's going to allow Op4 to pretty much get in here, but this internal perimeter of this building is going to be Op4's best bet. Small security AO, 2 choke points to work with, easy fallback positions from areas around the town into this position. I would say the sector objective is their best bet. Maybe a few explosives or traps around this area for some free kills. And that is all they pretty much need. How you doing, Forever? Dragon done. I hate math, lol. Okay, if you're talking about your kit for Congo, I will check that after this stream. Because I don't want to start doing stuff unrelated to this operation for another thingamajig, you know what I mean? Will there be a UN at the Congo op? No, for tomorrow there's not going to be any UN. It's just going to be Wagnerites holding main security. I hope you players really read what I wrote, because if you don't, you might get screwed. And then all of the really, really cool gear is going to go to waste. I'm serious here. In tomorrow's operation, there's a lot of cool stuff in some black market caches. In non-black market areas, it's a mixed bag. The local militia don't really have much. They still have their caches, but the gear's mid. There's some really, really cool caches. There is literally, in one position, there's an entire U.S. arsenal. In one of the Wagner positions, there's an entire Russian arsenal. It's just if you try to touch either of them, you will die. And if you think you're not, I'm telling you as your game master, you will die. Granted, then there's some other stuff too, like there's some there's some individual factions that have a position or two in the Congo, or not the Congo, the black market map for tomorrow. Some are hittable, some are filled with cocaine, some are duds. You get 3 before I start sending Wagnerites in the AO to wonder what the hell's going on. But we'll see how things go. There's a lot of ways to potentially play it. You could also bait Wagner into go and hit the green 4 positions. By then, there's going to be Mi-24s in the air, and you're going to have a long walk back to base. But hey, loot. Also, that Bergen on that guy's back, the black market guy's back, not only is it a freaking vanilla Bergen, which is the biggest backpack in almost all of Arma. The only exception is mods that literally give you that full bar in the arsenal, but we don't have any of those. But it's filled with random shit. There's at least like 15 scopes in that backpack. That's his travel kit. Good luck. Is Bobby joining that up? Bobby, as far as I know, he accepted a job and now he is unable to play a lot of ops these days. Which, good on Bobby. I'm glad he's working his way up in the world. But yeah, we're probably not going to see a lot of Bobby. I just realized there's 4 choke points here to defend. I thought there were only 2, but that's going to make this one a bit tough to work with. Also, the buildings are slightly misaligned. Now, there's no outside scaffolding, though, to climb onto the rooftop. Usually when we see this type of structure, they put in outside scaffolding to make open up another line of assault, but I guess they're just assuming these 4 choke points will be fine. Eric Prince, good God. Yeah, no, I've been seeing the images you guys pull up of the AO I gave you and everything, so we'll see how things go. Forever saying, good, thanks, waiting for arm to repair and then joined the game, was playing a custom campaign, it probably broke something. There was also a giant global mobilization update yesterday that was like 34 gigs or something, because when they update the CDLCs, because they're all encrypted, they have to update every file in the CDLC. Because they don't want people to take the unencrypted files and rip them and then, you know, re-release them on the workshop. Which people have already done in droves, and there's not really any way to stop it, but, you know, like... I remember when they first started releasing EVO files, there were a few obvious ways to rip them. Most of them have been patched, but not all of them, to my knowledge. Plus, I'm going to be honest, in this day and age, if someone really wants to do something on the internet, they'll find a way. That's just how things work. So I'm assuming the construction worker is Curie running admin here. Op4, it looks like they're going to settle for this starting position, and then we're just going to see a walk in. Range is about 822 meters of a walk, so after the bridge, go through the forests. I'd say the forests are probably the best bet for Op4 anyway, because the riverbed's easy to get ambushed on them, no cover in there if they get ambushed. But at the same time, I think Green 4's predicting this, and they're going to potentially try to set up some defenses along these forests anyway. That being said, if Op4 is able to get a squad around the Green 4 defensive lines, then there is very little Green 4 have in terms of defense of the area here. What is also a little concerning is it looks like Green 4 is going to potentially try to hold off at this position, based off the fact that we have a squad right here. But this group might just be here to watch these open areas here between the riverbeds, the bridge, and that one as well. So maybe Green 4 is just trying to block off as much as they can. The risk with that is they're definitely going to get defeated in detail. So... unless they absolutely crush Op4 in ambush, there's not going to be a lot of good stuff that happens. Looks like we're seeing Green 4 build some barbed wire around these fences so they can't be climbed. Because I could have sworn he just made that appear. Very interesting. Yeah, they're trying to board it up to basically stop Op4 from climbing in on that angle. Probably to bait them to over here so they're easier to engage from any fortified positions or that 2-story, so not a bad call. Yeah, Bobby was a riot. Oh well, people move on. I can guarantee you, though, we're going to see a lot of old guard come back in the next 2 years when Arma 4 kicks off. Yeah, companies have learned not to say that their stuff is unhackable, because then hacktivists just see that as a challenge. That's just how it works. Yeah. Any game that's going to make me make an account with Sony, I'm instantly not playing. Just because Sony is one of the most hacked companies in the world, and I really don't feel like dealing with that bullshit, you know? Alright, from there, I mean, this is going to be a pretty simple fight. Op4 is going to come in from the north. Green 4 is going to set up a defensive line. We'll see if Green 4 is able to get enough pickoffs to negate their losses on that first defensive line. This group's going to fold in, play defensive on one of the areas, and then we'll see if they can hold off from the rest of the Op4 advance. It's going to be a 2-part assault. If these guys get bulldozed, then I'm going to be able to comfortably say that Op4 is going to win the rest of the game unless we see Scandi Recon somehow clean house, but no offense to Scandi, but a lot of their OG really good players do not play often anymore. Yes, we still have Nafs, Nemesis. Nafs isn't even technically a part of Scandi, but I mean, No Azariah, no Gabian, none of those OG players. Or not none. That's how do I word it? At least half of what made Scandy isn't here anymore. But, you know, like Flying Fin is another good one. But, you know, OG members like Iander, Yanni, I don't know if Malon's considered one, Nafs and Nemesis. Cat's, like, for example, isn't an OG player, but I'd say he's one of the few that's become that level of player. But we'll see. Well, the whole thing that happened with Helldivers 2 was just a contractual thing. Like, I don't... Funny enough, I actually don't blame Sony for that one. I blame the contract that the devs of Helldivers made with Sony because they basically deferred the creation of the Sony accounts till later. Sony is dumb because they then, after receiving some initial pushback, tried to double down on it because they're simply a big publisher enforcing contracts. But they didn't have the foresight to then back away. But Sony has been delivered a lot of L's. Concord, for example, was a big one. There's another one that happened recently that blew up in their face, and I'm forgetting what it is. But you gotta also remember, the big publishers these days are heavily influenced by the wave of investment money that came with COVID. Because when COVID happened, video games kind of surged as a market, and that brought on a bunch of investors that don't really give a shit about what video games are. They just want to make a bunch of money. But they haven't realized that now that everyone, you know, is slowly being pushed back into the office and whatnot, and in fact they already have, those investors aren't going to really make their money back, you know? So now we're going to see a trend of a lot of big projects failing and dying, a new rise of indie studios coming up, and then you're going to see the market kind of reach a new equilibrium with a lot of players slowly pushing towards other games. And, I mean, even with juggernauts that I thought I'd never actually see die, like FIFA or the, you know, the yearly sports release games from EA, those are even starting to take hits. So give it another 5 years and you're going to see a big correction. Now, who survives in that? No idea. Couldn't tell you. You know what I'm still going to be playing in 5 years? Arma 4. Like, the only 2 games I am looking forward to right now. All right, no, I'll say 3. The only 3 things I am looking forward to right now, based off of my personal interest, is in order of release, the next Darktide update, and I might actually get back into playing that for maybe a month and then get bored of it. Not sure if I'll stream any of it. That's just a personal thing I like to play. Because I play with the best shield player in the world, but that was years ago. I digress. Round started. We'll cover them in a second. Second, in a few years, Arma 4. Third, if the leaks are true, which so far they have been, when, you know, Oblivion got shadow dropped, Fallout 3 and Project Blackjack, which is a finished version of Fallout New Vegas remastered. Fallout New Vegas comes out, I will literally spend an entire week freaking no-lifing that game. Yes, it's going to be me just grabbing Rat Slayer and finding really funny ways to headshot everybody I meet for funsies, but you know, that's Fallout New Vegas for you. Or I'll just let chat make my decisions and we'll see how funny things happen there. I'm pretty sure it's called Project Blackjack. I could be wrong. I gotta go look up the name again, but it's... I forget what Oblivion's project name was, but Fallout 3 also has a project name, but, you know, they're gonna be remastering shit. Oh, absolutely Fallout New Vegas will have the same bugs as the remaster, but you know what? It'll be dope. And, you know, forever, I don't know how that's going to work. But we'll see. Did I ever play Escape from Tarkov? Yes. Most recently was a year ago with a few friends on a private SPE server. It was a lot of fun. I just don't like playing Tarkov because it has a massive hacker problem. Alright, anyway, Op 4 is advancing. GL's going off onto the Op 4 advance. Green 4 making a really nice concave attack here. They're going to be fighting in small groups here. No KIAs on either side yet as Op4 is continuing the advance. We might see a nice group for Concave, but it looks like they're also setting up on some defensive areas. We have some knockouts in the back line, more GLs going out as Op4 is starting to take casualties. No KIAs just yet, though. Green 4 in this situation, what they need to do is try to hide in some trees or start pulling back. Have this group pull away, and then as Op4 advances, this team needs to advance and that team needs to advance, and they need to box in this Op4 tidal wave here. But Op4 is doing a great job of now committing some stuff to the side, potentially to even completely circumvent this area here. But I think Green 4 is underestimating the amount of Op4 that are coming. I think Eric just spotted Sandman there. He immediately returns fire. He has no idea where he's getting shot at from. Now he's being engaged from multiple angles. That's the issue of Green 4's plan here, is they don't realize the scope of how much Op4 is pushing through, and now Op4 is starting to bulldoze. So we have 2 KIA on Green 4 now. We have this force that's now picking off these elements on Echo. And then Emil just came up and handgunned that guy. But now this Green 4 element's being distracted, and now they're being flanked from the angle that they're supposed to be watching in the first place. Mortars are a very rare thing to see in FNF, at least standard rounds. I don't think I've seen them in standard rounds in years, to be honest. Ever since Falcon and Stark got their hands on a few and just absolutely started, like, wiping people. Alright, so now we're seeing this group try to pull away, but they're going to pull right into the main Op4 line here as they're taking pushover. I'm already calling this. This is going to be an Op4 victory. Unless this group is able to take out a majority here and break away, not much is going to be able to be done here. We're seeing some good GLs, but it's just not enough. Grenade thrown on Snadja. He might be able to get away from it. Nope, he gets knocked. Bursty gets shot in the back. Got the 2-man team back here that's pulled away. Trying to do some side engagements here. Green 4 has moved their forces over here. They're going to make their stand over at the, what is that, the cache or the terminal? That's the cache. Looking at the skull count, we are down 4-7 to only 2 Op4 here. This group was able to get a few pickoffs, but it's not enough. Marsik just suppressing that position. We got 2 Green 4 left. Fawns and Bursty. They're going to have to get some massive multi-kills to work with here. Green Thumb's going to need to get a few multi-kills as Op4 moves by to even the numbers, because otherwise the final fight is going to literally be like a 2 or 3 to 1 number disadvantage to Green 4 here.
Hello, Liru. How are you? Watching a little before work.
Righto, Iowa. Thanks for the 23-month resub. I'm doing A-okay. Happy Friday to you, broski. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. All right, so the main line has continued forward. Are these 2 Green 4 still alive, or is it just 1? It's just 1 now. Orthy here trying his best to get some pickoffs. That's pulling the western flank's attention away, but the main force is still pushing ahead. Op4 is also really separating, so players like Green Thumb aren't going to be able to find a lot here. Green Thumb engaging a little too early. I think you should have let these guys go by and waited for another group to come by that was closer, because now he's started shooting, and we might see other Op4 members hone in on his position, or just continue to bypass him. Bursty, meanwhile, knocked out. We just have Fawns remaining. Then this Op4 team back here, I think, just double-tap Bursty's body. So we just have some Green 4 stragglers, but Op4, I would say, now has a full 2 to 1 advantage. 3 deaths on Op4, 9 deaths to Green 4, and that's definitely going to change. Some explosives just went off on this building. Korvac is trying to move in. He's throwing charges in here thinking there's an Op4 group in there, but they've already moved away. Orthy got killed off. So yeah, Green 4 is completely miscoordinated at the moment. They don't even realize where their opponents are because they've just blown through that effectively. Righto, Forever. I think they're going to need you in the next round with this going. The only thing I can think of right now that could save Green 4 is Op 4 is in a very separated state. Maybe the final squad of Green 4 here can counterattack and pick off Op 4 as they trickle into this AO, defeating themselves in detail. But at a 2 or even 3-to-1 advantage, we're just going to have to see how Alpha and Command play this, as the remnants of Charlie are still running around, but there isn't really much that they can do. We have Command stuck over here, and he's already getting grenaded. But yeah, Op 4, they're going to have a few units start bypassing, hitting those other 2 objectives. We got 1 Green 4 defender back here, that's Nekomata, and the rest are just all around this position. Grav has died. He was also in that command area. I think his body's getting engaged right now as... Oop, little lag spike there. Yeah, he got caught up there. Nemesis might just hold this out here. But yeah, Op 4 can just bypass the building. It's not on the objective. They don't have to worry about it. Satchel it and move on, you know? So I think Green 4, I'm going to be honest, they had a really solid plan. It's just the sides that should have been attacking the center instead attacked other areas. And that allowed the center just completely bypass them. And then when they tried to pull back, they ran into the center and got annihilated. So a good try by Green 4, but it was just miscommunication at the squad level. Lolo takes a little bit of fragmentation, but he gets a beautiful GL right on Cats. That is our first KIA for the squad leader of the group. Still have Swola camping that building. Op 4 very, very distributed here. Green Thumb might find Rizbo. Rizbo is not paying attention. Green Thumb misses that first headshot, but then gets him. PKP might be a good weapon to take. Green Thumb in a good spot to help the Green 4 defensive of this area. Eric finds that lone player there. That was Nekomata. He is taken out. And this is gonna be messy. But again, if Green 4 can capitalize on the fact that Op 4 is super spaced out, some Op 4 come here, some go all the way to the back, some go here, maybe Green 4 can still edge a victory out here, but it's going to be close. We're going to have to see Scandi go with their namesake here, because if they're unable to hit this one, they're kind of SOL. We do have a few Green 4 pulling back. They could provide additional reinforcements. It's only 3 guys. Kremet, meanwhile... Green Thumb was not checking his left, overexposed, and Kremet takes him out. Now you got Bucket shooting, but Parthius is going to hone into those gunshots. Will he respond? Doesn't look like it, but he might have just ran into Buckets here. Bruh. No reaction from Buckets, as he could have spun around and killed Parthius, but he didn't. Huh. Neat. There goes 2 of the 3 Green 4 that we're going to pull back and assist because of a lack of situational awareness. Delta's starting to come around with a few guys here. Green 4 have 2 defenders on this final zone, which one was, I think, a glitched out unit spawning in to represent Forever. Harner realizes it, so it's only Yanni Finn back here. I'm going to be honest, should have sticked with this defense over here because now that's 1 less person for back in this area. And Op 4 now have the number advantage on this position. There, Tracers are back up. Nemesis trying to hit Emil in the back, gets a few shots, but otherwise that's it as Emil climbs the wall. Naf's hiding in a tree. He's got 3 Op 4 next to him, but he doesn't realize it yet. GL's going in. That knocks Piranha out. Return GL's going in. That might have also been red on red, technically. But they're just smoking this position out. Yanni taking fire. This is the sector, though, so I think Ash was technically in it to begin capturing, but then pulled back. But it's still counting as a capture, so who's... Might have been Dogs, but they're, like, right on the border, but it's still counting it, so I don't know. More shots going on Kremit's building. He's doing some medical. You got Korvac on the rear here. He just decides, F it, throw a charge in. Kremit jumps out the window, but it's not quick enough. Korvac scores a kill. Those explosive charges, man. Still got 40 minutes. This is going to be over in 10. That's enough time for the rest of this OPFOR garrison to maneuver around. Gonna be honest, there have been a good amount of kills back now. Green 4 could still bounce back if they're able to continue isolating groups of OPFOR. Because look at this, we got a group of 3 here, a group of 2 there, the central group right here, a 2 group right there. Sector captured, Yanni is found and eliminated. Nemesis is getting behind Dogs, the grenade barely on the left of that tree is able to go off and kill that one guy. Scandi, Yanni, part of Scandi, excels at small unit tactics. So if they're able to fight even-sized groups, they almost always outperform those smaller groups. So with OPFOR separating like this, this is giving Green 4 the biggest advantage that they can utilize. And that is where you're going to continue to see Green 4 defend that area. Now, central objectives down. These guys are going to move around, touch the terminal. We could still see someone with AT and range potentially destroy this cache, but look at all these defenses that have been put around it. Plus, they only know it's in the yellow zone here. However, some OPFOR have been able to knock out buildings by searching them in the yellow zone, as we see right here, so they know it's somewhere down here instead. But now we've got OPFOR beginning to make their assault. Nafs might have spotted them. Tries to get a headshot, but misses. So Nafs loses his opportunity to get the jump on those two. But they have no idea that Nafs is over there. So they're going to probably swing around and start pushing on this position here. Steve counterattacking. Korvac also around. Lolo doing some bandaging. Korvac is just going to blow these buildings up. I'm going to be honest, good call. Deny the buildings for OPFOR. Wasn't damaged enough to fully take it out, but Korvac's going to come around. But gets spotted by Tom and Tomer. And Korvac becomes dead. Alright, so the other half of OPFOR starting to move on that terminal site, facing no resistance. Nemesis still on the back line, potentially looting a dead body. I'm going to be honest, AKM versus AK-74. Weapon sound is nearly identical, so it doesn't really matter. We see some AT fired into this building. Don't know what brought that upon. Iander does have single shot AT, but that wasn't him. That was an RPG 7 firing. Weird. Green 4, meanwhile, down to 3 in the zone. Now 2 in the zone, because one just got taken out. Green 4 down to 3 players. It just wasn't enough, I think. I already said this was GG, but it's definitely GG now. Valiant effort by Scandi, but I'm going to be honest, if Nafs didn't have the SVD and he had another weapon, he would have gotten Tom and Tomer there, but because that's a precision weapon, there just isn't really a good spot to have that SVD unless you're like up here on the corner overwatching. It's more obvious, but I mean, compared to the trees on the single story level, it's not going to do you much. Iander was one killed off up here, I think, by that GL, so he was double tapped. Malin now holding the corner back here. Nemesis, I think, is slowly moving to the terminal. He might be able to get these, get Kevin and Colin killed to hold that position. I'm going to be honest, some explosive mines around this position would have been amazing to have. Like, and then they hold out on this position instead and utilize the second story cover and just booby trap this. Because if you bring 3 engineers with, like, you know, 2 AT mines per, there goes Malin. Nafs is now shooting. But that would be 6 people you could potentially pick off. Lolo gets shot in the back of the head. France finds him, though, and takes him out. Now it's just up to Nemesis. Can the old geezer still perform? Or has all of his time spent with Yanni's mom dulled his keen senses? Maladin's now Maladin. God. Maladin. Ay. Alright, mag dumping the cash. Hack has started. We just need to see Swola mag dump this. And it's GG. Technically, there's still 90 seconds to count down on that cash. Nem needs to book it back. He knows what's up. Can he make it here in 90 seconds, though? 80 seconds. No, wait, 70. Jeez. Now you got all of Op4 booking it to this area. We got Kevin and Colin right here. Nemesis has a very small window to do this. I don't think it's going to be doable. Sorry to say. "40 seconds, he's entering the compound, but as soon as he does... "25 seconds. If he were to get a lucky grenade catch on that second story and get him, that would be amazing. 16, 15. Kevin turns away. Colin pushes him, but he's got 8 seconds left. The distraction works, and Nemesis is out of time. That is an Op4 victory for round 1. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We will be back with round 2. Nemesis gets another kill. Double taps. He's pumping his numbers now. Admin message sent by Curie, and he's taken down in a 4-way fight. Nemesis found his Nemesis time. Damn, Angel, you're really on this trend. GG. I'm assuming they're having a second to do reviews and whatnot. God damn. I want to show you guys something. We're gonna show you guys something. Give me one moment here, because I need to go download it. We're on an intermission, it's fine. Some of you may or may not know this, but I have a buddy of mine, Krosk, who makes the best Arma ops in the world. Let me show you why. This is his latest project. I'm going to pull it up on my computer. We're going to pause it. I'm going to full screen it. We're going to quickly mute the music real quick. I'll pay out the prediction. Give me 1 second, but let me set this up for you, because this is really something. Alright, complete Op4 attacking, they won that. I need to open a new window on OBS here. We're just going to make it a simple display. And... why? Oh, because it's selecting monitors. There we go. Alright, look at this. Let me resize it real quick. That would be, where's the stretch to fit screen option? But trust me, this is worth it. This is absolutely worth it. It's under transform, stretch to screen. Okay, all right, check this. That's all I'm going to show you guys. That's just one of the many features he has. But I can't even begin to tell you the crazy things this guy makes in Arma 3. All right? Let's get to round 2, shall we? We will have another Project Tension op soon. If you want to be a part of it and play literally the best Arma 3 you've ever played, feel free to type !Discord, jump in there, grab an Arma tag, and while you're waiting with me, feel free to stick up and play an operation there. Otherwise, we have Altis for round 2. Let's go ahead and get this set up here. I'd play an ad for Stillwater, but we are on a bye week for 2 weeks, actually, so I am going to... Hold on. I am going to wait till we're out of the bye weeks to start getting people in. An Altis mission. Interesting. Alright, this is round 2, where... What do we got here? Blue 4 is attacking an Op 4 sector in Terminal. A 5% numbers advantage. What else do we got here? 2 117s, a Chinook, and some transport. While Op 4 has 2 BTR-80 alphas and some transport and 2 cord statics. 2 BTR-80As, 2 cord statics, and transport. Nice and easy. Wait, why is the map being weird? Come on. Update properly, you silly commands. It says Altis on my side. But sometimes... I've noticed the past 2 weeks, bots have been dying a lot. Like, my commands aren't working, or the bot to report things isn't working. It's just been weird. But we're back up to 60. Yeah, I didn't see Pierce. I want to see his return. I want to see him do an open field charge. Shit not working? Yeah, well, it's... That's Twitch and OBS. Not OBS. That's Twitch and other bots. Random APIs breaking. Not much I can do about that. Now we're just waiting and seeing. Right, to pierce the open ground! The legendary open field infantry charge! I need him back, bro. Ever since he got banned from commanding, FNF numbers have dwindled. Only Pierce returning to play continuously will allow for FNF to revive their numbers. Because that's totally how it works, right? Yes, the last Project Tension op I did was the train assault, where literally we were on a moving train in a tunnel and breaching it at the same time. It was the craziest thing. When are we doing more SOG ops? I have to dev one either tonight or tomorrow, and we could potentially do one Sunday. I just have to check my schedule, though, because... there's a lot. There's a lot. Now, of course, I'm working on all my own editing and all this other crazy shenanigans, and I got some stuff for clients. From some small-scale PvP stuff to some more Stalker stuff to some 40k stuff to some Star Wars stuff. A lot to do. Oh, yeah. Azariah. So, we covered the latest FNF War Games. What was it, last weekend? And Blue 4 had 3 vehicle crews, and every single vehicle crew got an amazing KD. But the only one that got in trouble was Azariah and Adriano, who have already proven themselves to be, like, really, really good players. But for some reason, they got accused of cheating in the last one, even though they weren't the ones with the highest KD. That was another tank crew. That went, like, 17-0. And I think Azariah and Audrey only went to, like, 13 or 14. And then the third tank was at like 12 or 13. So all 3 tanks did a great job, but apparently, no, Azariah and Adriano are in trouble. And then to loop it back to a conversation I was having earlier about why FNF is losing numbers because of administrative decisions, that's one of them. Very funny accusations. Oh well, that's all I got. Liru, I have a question on how you can get a great idea for making missions, since I want to try making my first contact mission, like the campaign, so with aliens and stuff, but it was one of the other ships that landed around other big city. Can you give me some idea on what best I can make out of that? What, so you're just landing an alien ship outside of a big city? War of the Worlds. Administrating decision to accuse Scandi of cheating. I don't think that's in our control. Keck. Yeah, right. But yeah, the movie War of the Worlds, but, like, the Contacts DLC campaign. First off, there's a Sergeant Fluffer's Easter egg in that campaign. Funny enough. You can find him. As I did in a bunker, but it would be really, really difficult to recreate that sense of exploration. There's mods to do it, don't get me wrong, but that sense of exploration and kind of sneaking around against a superior force, unless you had at least, like, less than 6 players to maintain that stealth aspect, if you're trying to emulate that from the main campaign. It would definitely have to be modded, so, but, like, what are you trying to, like, emulate out of it? Like, that's I guess is my question. Like, you have something there, you want to create that, but, like, what's the feel you're trying to go for in that campaign? You know what I mean? Because that as a statement, that doesn't really give me enough to, like, help you out. Like, are we trying to go for the stealthiness of the Contact campaign? Or are we just trying to do, like, a survival thing from, like, an alien invasion? Or is it, like, a race between multiple governments to try to get access to the spaceship? Like, what are you going for that specifically? Ah, yes, the Abdera mountain range by Galati. And then one of the objectives is that little military post. This is going to be an easy one to break down. Did you hear about a volcano in Hawaii that's spewing out gold? That sounds dope. Gonna be honest, all the money you're gonna make in gold is gonna be lost in the fact that everything you're buying on that island, like 95% of it's imported. So, I don't know. That's a tough one. Plus, you're gonna be fighting everyone else for a piece of it. Prepping the prediction right now. But, like, when you're building a campaign, what I like to do is I like to basically write down what my intent is. Like, what do I want my players to experience? Like, do I want this to be a horror spooky campaign? Or do I want it to be, like, a 3-way faction fight? Or do I want it to be... do I want to use this really cool mod that Webnight just released about, you know, mechs and stuff? Like, I literally will just pick one thing and then build the campaign around it. And like, the difference with that is, compared to the information you just gave me about, you know, have a big ship outside of a city, okay, cool, like, what is... Like, that's not enough to go off of alone. Like, you gotta consider, like, what you want your player base to get out of it, you know? You know, as we recently had that with a Vietnam automated mission I had, where I thought I made it easy. It was, in fact, not easy. we got pinned down in in some sort of like temple area, and people were getting murdered left and right, and here I am as the commander that made the mission. I'm like, okay, this is a lot more challenging than I thought it was. Like, damn. Anyway, let's go to the mission details here, and then we'll talk other stuff. So, Op 4 are going to be defending a sector and a terminal. Terminal's in Galati. The sector is up here, and it extends outside of that cop. It's going to be that little staging area as well. Going back on the details here. Briefing, render distance is going to be a click and a half. Fortify points are going to be 100 tan. Color for the matching the ground, fort sandbags, other fortifications that Op 4 is going to make. And then your standard 65-minute rounds of 15 minutes of safe start and 50 minutes for the round. Notes, increase the hacking timer to 120 seconds and the sector capture timer to 180, so 2 and 3 minutes respectively. And Blue 4's zones are hidden, so Op 4's not going to know where they come from. Mission rules, don't build on top of buildings or taller... Okay, don't build on top of buildings or build them taller than existing buildings. Only exception is 1 layer of sandbags. Otherwise, no performance tweaks. Op 4, we're going to start with them. Our Chechen forces here. So they've got AK-74s, GP-25s, SVDs, RPG-7s, blinked on the name for a second, PKPs, RPKs, RPG-32s, and PP-2000s. They got 2 cord statics, 1 gas camo transport, 1 UAZ, and 2 BTR-80 alphas with that autocannon. Blue 4, meanwhile, are going to be Australians. So we got Stayer AUGs, A3 models from the looks of it. Mark 11 marksman rifles, AT4s, GPMGs for the medium machine gunners, mini-me's for the auto riflemen, Mazes for the AT, and then P90s for their crewmen. They've got 4 4-man Humvees. They have a CH-47, the Chinook, and then they got 2 117s, but their GMG has been rescripted with that autocannon AP. So it's soft. It's a soft skin vehicle that is a comparative armor value compared to the BTR-80 Alpha. It's quicker though. Otherwise, looking over at factions, Batty's going to be commanding for Blue 4. Fawn's going to be leading Alpha with Goose, Snodge Bear, Bursty Salt, and Buckets. Bravo has Korvac, Orthy, Sandman, and Green Thumb. Charlie has Mike, Ash, Eric, Banks, and Dogs. Tomer leading Delta with Patriot, Fancy, Ellie, Tom, and Raz. Mike, which is a Moz team, has Swola with Naps taking the gun and Steve being assistant, so that team has 4 rockets total. Rana, Tackleberry, and Grav taking 1 117. Skipu and Ping is taking the other 117. And Pogrom and Wiki Quartz taking the CH-47. I'm going to check back on the log here. It is armed, okay, but it's only got like 400 rounds per minigun, which for the minigun is not a lot of rounds. It's literally like... honestly, a 10-second burst per gun, so that's not a lot, and you can't really use that thing as a precision weapon. Emil is going to be commanding for Op 4, Bates leading Alpha with France, Marstick, Harrington, Herb, and Norris. Charlie has NASA leading Horno, Fetty, Kremet, Wombat, Cheeseburger, and Lolo. Parthius leading Delta with Q-Boy, Depso, Risbo, and Dobbs. Iander is going to be the AT gunner. It looks like they're doing the method with the gas where they can turn out. That's a smart thing to do with that vehicle. Yanni is leading because he got the slash in his name, and Katz and Close are going to be the assistants, so that team has 6 rockets total. I'm going to state this RPG-32, that is Iander's favorite AT weapon. And he can range that thing well beyond its normal 500-meter range. That guy has a 1,368-meter shot recorded with the RPG-32, so he knows how to use that damn thing. Otherwise, Nemesis Nekomata taking the BTR-80 Alpha. Second BTR-80 Alpha crew is Kevin Cullen and Balloon Knots. Otherwise, objectives are pretty simple here. We've seen this type of AO done multiple times. The one concerning thing is this sector has that little open cap zone there, so Blue 4 could rush up and grab that. But the terminal is tucked away a little bit. But, I mean, this is just going to be a matter of how effective the vehicle crews are, and we'll have to see how things go. Iander, yes, sometimes he does guess, and he hits the damn thing. But I'm just looking, did Lucifer ever give any additional information? I don't see any. But yeah, if anyone ever wants to run ideas by me, I don't mind giving my 2 cents, but what'll really help you in mission dev is if you just like write down like one thing you want to happen and then just build everything around that. It actually becomes quite easy. Because otherwise it's really easy to put like a general concept and then completely get lost in the details, and then scope creep the hell out of it. Let me give you some examples of what we're doing right now. Halo Antistasi, that's easy. I just want to play Antistasi with my friends, maybe monetize it on Pay for Pain if everyone thinks it's too easy. and then laugh when people get mad because they said it was too easy and they told me to pay for paint it, and then the viewers pay for paint. It was Scarabs. Congo campaign was. I really wish I could play more Stillwater, but I wanna, but I don't have, but they're not gonna do, run more ops, so let me just make, discount Stillwater. Easy. Oh, hold on, Lucifer. Also, I want to make a Tanoa after the Apex Protocol, and that Blue Force helping Tanoa from what CSAT Viper teams have been in the Apex campaign. While NATO is helping Tanoa and Civi and stuff after the aliens come CSAT, come trying to get alien tech stuff. Most try to understand, so NATO are aiding Tanoa civilians. Yeah, so that would literally just be the old man helps to rally, if he's even still around. I mean, there's multiple ambiguous endings there. But, some sort of guerrilla style fighting that then NATO is helping to basically take out hard CSAT targets. So that would literally just be a guerrilla war unless you make it a direct faction versus direct faction, but you're saying that NATO is going to help the civilian side of things, so that's going to be more so guerrilla fighting. About the aliens, so NATO... But yeah. I'm assuming that's a separate campaign, though, based off of the fact that, like, you're just kind of theming multiple campaigns based off of the aftermath of the Contact campaign. I'm assuming. Anyway... Yeah, writing out lists of things, too, and then crossing ideas out is also good. But, I mean, other ops... the automated Vietnam stuff is literally because I just want to play more Vietnam. And there are very few Vietnam ops I end up liking, because they either have issues with their settings that bork a few things, or there's not enough contact, or they're not difficult enough, or they're just walking simulators. And what I have come to find is, yeah, just put yourself in the middle of, like, 4 avalanche tracker modules, and you'll suffer. You'll definitely suffer. People always complain about difficulty, yeah. They're not masochists like me, I guess. But yeah, no, next Vietnam mission, I literally want to go to Cam Lao. I want to go in the middle of, I don't think it's Hue, I think it's Saigon. I want to pull a VIP out of Saigon. That'll be fun. I'm going to be honest, I have a massive Word document where every time I've gotten a suggestion since 2016, I literally just paste it at the end of the Word document. And then if I'm, like, thinking I need some inspiration, I just go into that Word document. I haven't opened it in at least 2 or 3 months, though, because I just have such a random backlog of stuff I want to do, because now it's kind of under the timer of, Arma 4 is coming in 2027. So that gives me 2 years to do everything that I've always wanted to do with this game. Now it's do or die at this point. So, not to say we won't still be playing Arma 3 after Arma 4 comes out. We'll probably still be playing it for a few years, but the hope is to transfer over to Arma 4 and then maybe play Arma 3 as a legacy thing, like once or twice a week. But I also know there's going to be some mods that we are not going to be able to access in Arma 4. That will only be able to touch in Arma 3, like Starship Troopers. I want to build another Starship Trooper campaign. And there's a way to use the Antlions. Because someone put them as their own little mod, and I totally want to put those in and just watch people get ragdolled by the frickin' Antlion Queen. It's gonna be great. 36 gigabytes of words. I didn't say gigabytes, I don't know the page count. If I said gigabytes, I'm sorry. That was a misspeak. Last I checked, it was, like, around 250 pages or something? No, you were memeing? Keck. I remember in a 12-hour Zoosop where we had a 3-hour firefight to get across the bridge in Saigon? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like, I think I'm finally at a level with Zeusing where, with a powerful enough server, I could probably pin down a 60-player group. With my medical settings, mind you, not milsim settings where, you know, if you get hit once or twice, you're kind of out for a few minutes. Mine, it's usually you're only out for like 30 seconds, then you're good again. But I think even with that, I could pin a group of 60 down pretty easily. But then again, air support and artillery is what really helps clean those areas up. Also, I thought I saw Dream in here for a second. Ah, he's playing Minecraft, that's why. Alright, get out of here. Get out of here. Alright, so Blue 4 have one staging point over here, and they just had a guy fall off the tower. Cute, but that's got 2 Humvees, and everything else is coming out of this side. Alright. Multiple kilometers to move to these objectives, though, so it's going to take a while. Love to see how things go. Oh, yeah, no, the bridge fight was definitely insane. I'd absolutely love to have some insanity like that, but I'm going to be honest, I think unless I'm paid to do it, I'm probably never going to Zeus a Vietnam mission again. Because now I know how to automate the missions to just play on the ground. And I always like to Zeus what I like to play, and now that I know that that option exists, I'm gonna go shoot people rather than just watch everyone have fun. Now I'm gonna experience that on the ground. Oh, that's gonna be great. Yeah, but it's a lot easier to do it with the tracker module system than other systems that exist. And no, you're lying to me, Malland. It's not fun because I know how to do it. The reason I don't do it is because it's a massive pain in the ass. Literally, with Vietnam missions, it's I put the tracker module down, I set the size, and then I copy-paste, and boom. All of the stuff that would take me a few hours of scripting, I can do in 2 minutes. No, I remember learning how to script because when I worked for BIA for a little while, because BIA pays you to do stuff for them, this was 4 or 5 years ago, mind you. I had to learn how to do trigger work, I had to do scripted stuff, I had to do everything as if there was no Zeus, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Because literally it would take me 3 or 4 hours to make like a 90-minute mission. But no, with the Vietnam stuff, the only thing that takes more than 5 minutes is just doing the unit captures for infill and exfil routes for helicopters. Everything else is simple. The best way for someone to punish oneself, yeah, is to learn SQF. Don't get me wrong, I've played some pretty crazy scripted automated missions, but at the same time, there's only a few that I know I couldn't recreate from the Zeus interface. And I think 90% of those few are all Project Tension ops. What Krosk does, I mean, there's a reason he's only able to pump out a mission like every few weeks to every few months. Because the amount of quality work that goes into him, my God. It's the best. Whoa. Alright, I think after this round, I am going to take a break, because I don't know why, but I'm having some really bad eye strain right now. It's actually hurting. Which is weird, because I usually work on my computer every day. I got habits to get away from that, but... just not having any of it today. Oh well. Alright. We got 19 people loaded in that helicopter, the 1+18, so it looks like Blue 4... is going to mainly be an air assault group, and then we only have 2 people in these Humvees over here. we got a 3-man group there, and then the vehicle crews. So all of Blue 4's infantry are in that helicopter, and you can see it, with the exception of Alpha, which it looks like they weren't showing the pluses, so it's actually 5 people in those teams. I agree, one rocket from Iander is going to wipe all of them, but I don't think they're going to be dumb enough to fly over to the RPG gunner. The issue with the Huey is it's incredible, not the Huey, the Chinook is that it's incredibly loud. So, I mean, we were over there and you could already hear it in the distance. You know what I mean? Like, let's have a look. That thing is 2 kilometers away and you can hear it. So they flew a little over 1 kilometer. And now they still have to walk another 2 kilometers. I don't know why I rechecked it because we already looked at it once, but this is going to be a long op because of that 2 kilo walk. Well, because, like I just said, that Chinook is loud, so if they land within 1 kilometer, Op 4 is just going to hone in on where they are. So at this point, it's going to be, this 5-man team is going to be doing some minor interdictions and some scouting, and then the main team's going to move up. And that's it. But I'm going to be honest, the Chinook's cool, but I think Blue 4 could have achieved the same literal result from a few transport trucks. That's just my opinion. And now it's just going to fly like random interdictions up here and maybe be a distraction. Well, the Cords just noticed a Blue 4 group. One of them gets knocked out. He is in a medicable position, though. We'll see if more Op 4 come up to this position like the BTR-80 Alphas. As long as that wasn't the medic, which... He's listed as a team lead. This group doesn't have a medic. The machine gunners cut another one down. Immediately my mind's thinking, okay, are these guys like a distraction force? Because Blue 4 is still like 1.5 kilometers away, so there's not really a point in running distraction right now. You know, like what is the point of this team? If they're taking fire and they're not immediately getting their vehicles and driving off, is it to pull attention so these guys can move 2 kilometers? Like, 2 kilometers is going to take them at least like 15 minutes. Like, that's confusing me the most here. They got lost. These guys they went to the, on Altis. The map that literally every Arma player has played. I'm waiting for the Mike team to just come in and murder everybody. Also, Fonz is dead. I think he bled out. Amazing. How do you get lost? Like, if you spawn in Sirta and then you go up to the top of the mountain, how do you get lost? It like, literally is the mountain. That's the mountain in the AO. Like, how do you get... What? I give up. Now, if that marksman was actually getting a headshot or two, then I wouldn't be saying anything like this, but... Oh, that's also why we had 2 people get knocked out. It's because we actually have someone really competent on this court. Bay is one of the OG good players of FNF that we've always seen throughout the years, so I'm not surprised he was able to get that knockout and kill.
got that Chinook. We have one 117 going on its own, and then another one that's actually maneuvering around and supporting the infantry group here, so... 80 Alpha's just hit the tail rotor. It's on fire. It's okay, right? He knows how to evade. Pogrom, use your dodge roll. I think Pogrom hit the wrong button, because that was not the dodge roll. Uh-oh. Pogrom, that's the ground! Ah, they didn't need that Chinook, right? Nah, they're fine. Hey, look, now you can see these BTRs come up and kill the infantry up here. Alright, so what's Blue Force plan? They're gonna have 2 squads take the neighboring hilltops and then try to maneuver their forces in. If anything, this is where the 117 should put themselves to support. And then the infantry should be in the low ground down here. And then do a smoke charge as they move up while they're supported by the 117s at range, because they do have magnified optics to scope in. So having the infantry do it is just a waste of ammunition, because the range isn't really going to be that effective because they don't have any magnified optics except for the marksmen. But even then, the marksmen are going to struggle at this range. So what's Blue Force's plan? Now you got Blue Force pulling back. One of them's driving away in a Humvee. Unfortunately, there's a really hungry RPG gunner over here who's really, really good at killing vehicles. And you're going to drive right into them. And you're going to stop right in front of them. Blue 4 Alpha's having a bad day. It's alright, Salt has a 240 Bravo. No, it's a Jeep. Nope, that is a GPMG right there, Australian. Gets one. Can he get 2? Gets 2. Ah, you ran out of ammo. Bro's committing to the dodge. That was actually impressive by Salt. So he's killed Cullis and Cats. He can now hide in that smoke and bandage if he wants to. He's still clearing. He goes low, so now he's at the perfect level of deflate. Don't assault while you're wounded. Ah, the bloodlust has gotten to Salt. And he goes down. But 2 kills. That's the best Blue 4's done so far. Who do we have over here? Snodgepair's gotten a single kill on Charlie. Good for him. Except Charlie's going to now find him. They never check their flanks. Good attempt, though, on the snapshot, but it wasn't enough. So who else went down? That was Cheeseburger. All right. So we have the hotel crew dead. We have the entirety of Alpha dead. Ash is dead all the way over here. Because I guess the Cord's got him. Bates has a kill while he's moving one of those around. Bay isn't credited with the kill because it was a bleed out. He didn't technically get the kill there. But yeah, now forces are starting to open up. Blue 4's moving forces in. You got the 117 all the way in the back over there. Not really able to do much. Where are the BTRs? We got one up here and one all the way back here? Question mark? Actually, no, that's okay. Because it's going to have good overwatch cover of the town itself. So that one's not the worst one in the world. I'd say Op 4, they're doing all right with their BTRs, with their intel considered. Blue 4, I don't know why we have one all the way over here for some weird reason, but the one over here is being played properly. It's just they should have been on Overwatch before Bravo should have been up here, because now Bravo's completely alone, Delta's completely alone, they're fighting a more fortified position. At this rate, I think it's safe to say Blue 4 is going to defeat themselves in detail, and this is going to be an Op 4 defensive victory. The only thing that could turn that around is if the 117s find and destroy both BTR-80 Alphas, and then they just start sniping Op 4 players. But with how we see the 2 117s placed out here, I don't think that's going to happen. Terminal's lightly guarded, but Blue 4 are not going for the terminal based off of their unit displacement here. They're going for the sector first. And they're heavily separated. The cords are going to be what really gets people that come out of position. And they're bursting them too. That's one more kill by the cords. Cords, like, so static MG, heavy MGs like that are really, really good when you're dealing with skylining players. So if they come overhead and you can line up that little head with your little iron sight, you can easily pick people off. And I think they're only given 250 rounds per cord static, so that's 5 boxes. But so if you burst a few rounds like that, then you're golden. I think in this instance, the force split would have been okay if they had the 117s in position to suppress these areas with their autocannons. Because that would have pinned this position down. They would have destroyed this top tower here. They're trying to use AT to do it, but as you can see, it's minimally effective. You have to hit someone in there for the proper splash to come in. I think that player got knocked out. What we need to see now is this infantry team get on that BTR and get driven in. RPG group is doing the smart thing and looking around for the 117s with the assault group, but they're not going to find them. And now this garrison just kind of needs to hold down the fort. But Charlie is split up. Some are watching the terminal and some are still back here. So that's the thing. If this attack started a few minutes earlier when Charlie had pulled their forces away, this plan might have still worked because they would have been able to rush up here and deal with the limited numbers. But I think there's going to be enough time for Charlie to mount up and get driven in. And then for this position to be held, we might even see the RPG team come in and assist. But I'm waiting to see this BTR find a position to start picking off any of these elements here. Now we have a 117 finally firing, but it's only using its machine gun, the 240 Charlie. And it's just not effectively ranged. Yeah, 240 Charlie. That body is France. He's been the 4th death there. Now you got Bay trying to hone those shots in, but Blue 4 is now being very more conservative with their skylining profile, but they are effectively pinned right there. I think the only force that might be able to make headway is going to be Charlie, because Bravo, as soon as they start moving through this open field here, I feel like something on the Op 4 side is going to spot and eliminate them, and that would be the BTR. Green Thumb is trying to crawl back behind that little rock. Autocannon shots coming in. BTR is not within a click and a half of that 117. Oh, it is just barely on the range, but that's going to be all foggy for them because that's the maximum render range. So they are not aware of each other's presence. Charlie, meanwhile, mounting up, and they're driving up to reinforce this position. It's over. RPG team might hone in on that autocannon in the distance, but Delta is pulling back. Bravo trying to re-assault this position, but they're pinned down by the machine gun. And with Charlie reinforcing this position, it's GG. Blue 4 don't have the numbers. If they try to now move to the terminal instead, the other BTR is going to catch them in the open. That's it. Korvac, I think, is the one that shot France in the head because he has that one kill listed. He's trying to look for more pickoffs here. With Charlie reinforcing, that might give him that opportunity, but... yeah, these guys now combing all the way in the back. They'll be able to get a firing solution on that 1117 in 4 or 5 minutes. Oh, those are smoke GL rounds. I was like, what is that trail there? And that was ground command. That was just killed. Attackers, the blue 4 are Australian. The defenders are Chechen, if I recall correctly. Yep. Really nice GL. That landed just on the front of cover there. 1 more meter forward. That actually would have killed Green Thumb. And then we still have that other 1117 that's all the way over here that's just not in a position to really do anything. So Blue 4 split themselves up a bit too much on the assault. One of their 1117s is completely out of position. Delta pulled back to try to find a new firing angle. I mean, it's really up to Korvac here. Now, Korvac, if he plays this right, he might actually be able to do a lot of damage with some well-placed grenades. But he also started getting shot at from the other angle. Grenade thrown right onto base. He runs around, gets away from it. That cord is going to potentially be disabled. We have another kill up here. That is so funny. Harrington comes up and finishes him off with the handgun. Looks like the Moz team actually spotted and eliminated the BTR-80 Alpha to the south. Good shot by Nafs. That was an 830-meter shot. And immediately after, the other 1117 that was actually playing the game gets eliminated by the Scandi Recon kill team at a 345-meter shot. Now we have 1 BTR-80 Alpha assisting in the actual operation, and 1 1117 that is just kind of doing a joyride, completely out of play. So by the time that 1117 is in a position to help, I'm pretty sure most of Blue 4 is going to be dead. I think the only survivor is going to be the Mike Moz team. Everything else is in position here, but look at the skull count here, and look at the skull count here. And then this is the vehicle crew that's moving away. That's the Moz team, so it's literally just this that's left. Whereas for this group, it is half of this, all of this, and then you have this that's actually helping. And then this is, the Mike team is the one that actually hunted that down. So, AT crews for both sides are doing a good job. Self-care time, funny. But at the end of the day, no offense to Batty, but he needed both of those 1117s to help suppress the assault here. Also, these are pike launchers. And I just watched one get honed in on this guy and murk him. That's amazing. Pikes would have been amazing in this AO, but because they didn't have any high ground to use them on, had another distant GL fire. There's 4 people there, 2 people there. That's 6 total. Op 4, meanwhile, we've got 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th guy just got knocked. That extra 50 meters of range on the GP25 system, since you can range them up to 400 meters, that really does make a difference. And we're even past that engagement range. We're at 424. Alright, so there were 2 Blue 4 guys up here. It's down to 1. Blue 4 now have 5 here, 3 across this area, and then another 3 in that vehicle. Op 4 still have their BTR, hunter-killer team, and then a bunch of infantry around and a surviving crew member. So Op 4 outnumber Blue 4 at least 2 to 1 at this point. Ah, yeah, you're right. The skulls would be hidden by the chat. I completely forgot about that. I am so sorry. Well, we have to put the chat somewhere. Alright, Delta's trying to make their push, but... Oh. Did the BTR just do what I think it just did? Because it wasn't him. Wait, no, he does have a car kill. No, so NAF sniped their gas. Because he has a car kill register. Now the BTR is double tapping the team. And none of them grab the LR, so they can't call up to say that they're friendly. Wait, no, that's the LR right there. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, now we do have Swola trying to drive up to the terminal on his own. There are defenders in this town, though. Betty does have an RPG. Point blank him. Did you miss at point blank? Did you actually just miss at point blank? You hit the ground? You what? 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 He's still shooting at friendlies. We have an RPG gunner that... I'm gonna take a nice nap after this. We're gonna play DayZ then, and yeah. I'm just gonna forget that that happened. Sounds like a winning strategy to me. Still got Kevin over here. Is Kevin commanding? No, he's scouting for the BTR. Okay. I've never seen a rocket ricochet in Arma 3. I don't know if that's a thing. That might be a thing. Well, that's weird. Bro's now driving up here. He's gonna try to deflect another one. Theoretically, if the 1117 finds and eliminates the last BTR, the RPG team doesn't have a way to run up to that 1117, so this could go either way. Bates is pulling the gun out. But can't find an angle on that Humvee. You know, it would be really, really funny if Iander saw this and went, ooh, a vehicle. It's only a 750-meter shot. The heck blew up down here? Ooh, maybe. Iander, is he going to snipe the infantry? He might. Iander, no. This is a 741-meter shot. Rocket away. Lands just short. They're running for the Humvee. Iander, stop them. Oh, that's always funny to watch. BTR now firing on this position. I assume, yeah, Cullen's on 4 kills. He killed one of the guys up here. Blue 4 is down to 5 in the zone because one of them transferred over. So they got 7 and then 3 in the vehicle, so 10 total. Meanwhile, Op 4 has Kevin unconscious. So we have 2 in the vehicle, 3 over there, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I think there is a dude still back here, and he just got RPG'd in the butt. Yep. Once again, a 746-meter shot. I don't know if they have any AT left for the 1117. Well, I'm going to be honest. They just have to stay in this AO at the cords, and they'll be fine. Autocannon is massively overranged by that 1117. The driver appears to be AFK. But we do have an AT4 gunner rushing up to this position. But now while they're distracted looking that way, the AT4 gunner can hit him from the other side. Come on, Ellie. Ellie, buddy. You're not going to believe this, but you have something on your back that can take care of that thing. Come on, buddy. You can do it. You have the ability. Yes. Yes. Okay, this is fine. You're repositioning. Don't worry. You're just going to get another blue 4 guy killed as the building collapses. That's okay. Whatever. Oh, he's learning. He's got it. He's going to do it. Bro's home free. The front of the vehicle is facing him, though. If he's not careful, he's going to get seen. Yes, Ellie. Yes. I'm letting him cook. He's gonna make me a Michelin star dish. He's got it. And he's immediately killed. But hey. He killed the gunner. And the driver's also cooking. All right. Worth it. Now the 1117 is the only operating vehicle in the AO with an autocannon. And Blue 4 just has to utilize its, How does Wombat have a -1? You know what? Some things are better left unanswered. Swola manages to dodge the grenade, but does not get Wombat in that exchange. He throws his own grenade. It's a smoke. Wombat panics. Grenade goes by. Thermite. Another thermite. Wombat breaks even. All right, Blue 4 are down to a vehicle crew and 2 dudes on the outskirts. It's GG. I'm going to call it here. Even if they were to friendly fire each other, there's no way 2 dudes and that 11117 crew is going to be able to come in here and do anything because they're just going to get the objectives camped. And then what we got, the 2 Moz people out there that have stayed out there the entire game. It's GG here. Up for win. No way. That might have been just short. It was just short. And that might have been their last drago, but even so, that was pretty funny. That would have been a 1,116-meter shot. Oh, well. Anyway, yeah, 15 friendly fire incidents. We're not recreating that one China versus Takistan OFCRA mission from like a month ago. I'm going to wrap it here. Thank you so much for watching. Pay it out to Op4 if you don't mind, as. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers, and have a good one.